Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers. This is Module 4, and this is an update on UV mapping to show you how I mapped out my UVs and to kind of give you a heads up on what not to do to make sure you don't overlap UVs or stack them together that are not of the same shape and size. So under UV Editor, if I go in here and click on my weapon, and I go in here and I'll show you a couple things that I think is really important. This is what's going to be actually be sent out. A couple things that you need to watch for really quick is you do not overlap UVs that are not of the same shape and size. Okay, so this is a no-no. Don't do this. Don't try to overlap these two UVs, because what will happen is that the curvature map will see them on top of each other and will give you these strange lines in your curvature map, which will look really bad. Okay, so it's really important that even though these are the same, okay, they have to be exactly the same size. Okay, and they have to be overlapping perfectly. Otherwise, you'll see that line right here that goes across. So I would just recommend, because we're rendering a curvature map, we're going to bake out a curvature map, do not overlap UVs for this particular weapon, because it's a problem. It's an issue. So I just want to let you guys know that, to make sure that it wasn't a problem with the UV crate, or the sci-fi crate, but it is a problem with the weapons. So keep that in mind. Another thing that you need to do is you need to separate this body. Okay, so the body of behind these two pieces here. So if I go to the UV shells and I select those UV shells, let's get them all right here. Okay, these are the UV shells right here, and I can use the Control 1 to kind of see what's going on there. This is the UV shell that I have. Okay, UV shell. Okay. So the issue with these is that they need to be laid out by themselves. Okay, that's really important. Okay, those UVs need to be laid out by themselves. Okay, what the problem is that if they're not laid out by themselves, okay, in their own little UV tile, you're going to have issues with normal maps baking across, because it shoots rays across the object, and you're going to have this little weird normal map on the inside of your other piece. So what's happening is that it's like a shadow. You're going to see a shadow of the normal map. So you have to make sure these are laid out separately. It's basically the inside piece, the inside pieces that you need to UV map by themselves and put them in their own UV tile. Okay, so that's basically all I really wanted to say with this. Was a short video to just give you a heads up what not to do. One last thing is, make sure that you are well within the UV texture space. Okay, meaning that do not just double check everything. Make sure everything's within the black cube, the black square, which is U from 0 to 1 in each one of these. Make sure nothing is going outside of that. If you have 1 pixel going across that black line, it will give you an error. Okay, so just be aware of that when you are trying to bake maps in Substance Painter. Okay, UDIM tiles are great, but you have to watch out for stacking UVs, especially when you're baking a curvature map. Normally you wouldn't have a problem, you wouldn't see it, because but most of the time I am baking curvature maps. That helps us to give us that wear and tear that we like to use and what we like to see. So anyway, keep that in mind and have fun, and I wish you the best of luck with the baking process. And I'm going to have an update on the baking process, so look for that video as well. Alright, I'll see you in that video.